They began as the November 9. Will the current chip leader, the hottest player on the planet, continue to roll? The moment is near. Soon, only one will be left standing. One will take the $9 million. One will be world champion. Welcome back to the World Series of Poker presented by Milwaukee's Best Light. The Penn and Teller Theater still filled to capacity. Each remaining player with his own unique cheering section. Blinds are up to 250,000, 500,000. Eastgate folds his 7-4. Over to Dennis Phillips now. Dennis looks down at King Queen.
Phillips once was a travel agent. He was a salesman for a book publisher. He owned his own dairy farm. Here he says, I'm playing a game that I love.
Phillips started this table as the chip leader. Lost a lot of chips early on. He's been fighting back. He raises to $1.3 million. That lucky coin has come into play and worked well for Dennis Phillips so far. Action on Daru Suharto. He folds. Next in line, Ivan Demidov with pocket jacks.
Pocket jacks, the Lon McCarron Memorial hand.
In the big blind.
Almost 17 left, not quite. 16 and a half.
He's got plenty, Ivan.
Ivan just with the call.
You gotta like Ivan's game. Demidov is selectively aggressive. He varies his play. He disguises his hands well.
Flop is king, Trey. Phillips flops kings up to grab the lead. Demidov with jacks up, checks. Dennis Phillips. He's going to bet at it. And Dennis puts out over 2.5 million chips.
And you see the problem with pocket jacks. If an ace, king, or queen hits the flop, you're frozen in your tracks.
Demidov, though, will make the call.
Well, that tells us that Demidov does not believe that Dennis Phillips has a king.
Turn card is a 7, no help to Demidov. Ivan checks. And Dennis checks behind.
With Phillips checking there, I really don't believe he has a king if I'm Demidov.
All right, now the river card is another king. And king's full for Phillips gives him the check mark.
If I'm Demidov, now I really don't believe Phillips has a king.
Demidov checks a third time. Phillips is going to bet at $5 million.
Well, if I'm Demidov and I didn't believe he had a king on the flop and didn't believe he had a king on the turn, there's no reason I would believe Dennis Phillips has a king now. Of course, I'm not Ivan. We know that Dennis Phillips does have the king.
He does not believe and calls. King's full for Dennis Phillips will win the hand. It's been a lot of work since he was hammered down to only $8 million, but Dennis Phillips is just $5 million behind the chip leader, Ivan Demidov. Welcome back to the Rio and the championship table. Anticipation is high in the Penn and Teller Theater. We know this will happen each and every year, yet it never gets old. The money is entering the room. This is the first time the players are seeing what they've been competing for so long.
Are they really piling that money all up there?
$9 million.
There's my money.
A sight to behold and a handsome reward for the winner. Now the question is, who will it be? More than $9.1 million to the winner, Norman, but the payouts are very substantial for everyone left. As we see on the E-Trade Financial Final Table ticker, second place over $5.8 million. The next player to go out earns almost $2.5 million. Dennis Phillips is now the short stack. Back to action on Elon Schwartz. He's been very quiet as of late, and he'll fold.
Looks like we busted everybody between us. Somehow you're in my big blind now.
Very dangerous to have Demidov on your left. Scott Montgomery with ace-9 of diamonds.
If Montgomery becomes main event champion, he will have the winning hand tattooed on his body somewhere.
And he'd be the first Canadian to win the main event. He raises to $1.5 million. Demidov now, pocket kings.
Both these fellows have a math degree. Montgomery, a product of the University of Waterloo Poker Factory. Demidov graduated from Moscow State University. I believe they are the Demon Deacons.
And with those kings, you expect a re-raise, and you get it. Just over $4 million back at you, Scott Montgomery.
Montgomery with the suited ace, and we know that Montgomery likes the ace.
I'm all in.
All in?
I call.
Montgomery pushes. Demidov calls all in. And Montgomery will hate to see the pocket kings of Ivan Demidov.
Montgomery is fatally attracted to the ace. Pocket aces are great. Just one ace can really cost you.
Iván Demidov on his feet and wandering. He is at risk, but ahead with those pocket kings.
I guarantee you the rest of the table hopes Montgomery gets lucky because Demidov is so dangerous.
These two wasn't aces.
I mean, you have won a lot of this, so you actually have a decent chance.
We have seen Scott come from behind and win these.
You get this forwards. I get to keep the greens and one pink.
I wouldn't be surprised if you like hit a flush on the flop or something.
Montgomery will be severely hurt if he loses this hand. The flop 6-4-6. Demidov still ahead, but Montgomery does pick up a flush draw.
Montgomery tormenting Demidov. The Kings are still a 3-2 favorite.
Good luck.
I told you, man. I knew it before.
You've got to love the way both these fellows handle themselves at the table.
Turn card, 10 of spades. Demidov still the big favorite to double up.
Just one more.
Montgomery needs an ace or a diamond to knock off Iván Demidov.
Montgomery's family looks on. The river card. A tray of clubs, and Demidov will win that huge pot. His kings pay off big time.
Scott Montgomery now left with less than 15 big blinds.
Demidov, the new chip leader, gets a hearty congratulations from his girlfriend, Lika.
Day one, he was down to 600 chips. Now he's got more than 50 million.
A sad sight for the Canadian. Montgomery sees all but 7 million of his chips shipped to Demidov. The Russian continues to celebrate with his comrades. Iván Demidov's appearance at this final table is perhaps the crest of a new wave of players coming from poker's next hotbed.
Poker is really growing in the past few years in Russia. Alex Kravchenko had a very good run in the last year.
It's a deuce, and Kravchenko does double up.
Everyone was rooting for Alex. It inspired a lot of people. I have been running really well in the past few months.
Ladies and gentlemen, just give it up for Ivan Demidov.
I won some tournaments in Russia, third place in Europe main event. Those tournaments was really important to me because I really wanted to prove to myself, it wasn't just luck and there is something more behind my success in the main event. I never expected to be in a spot like this. Now I feel even more confident. If I do good in this event, it's going to be even better for Russia because we're going to see a lot of more Russian players.
In the 2007 main event, Alex Kravchenko was the only Russian player to cash. This year, 5 Russians finished in the money. Next year, the poker room is going to look like the set of Red Dawn.
Demidov with king 7 of spades.
In the small blind.
And the blinds are up to 600,000. Demidov will limp in with that suited king. In the big blind now, Eastgate. Tray deuce, and he will check his option. So Eastgate and Demidov to the flop. It's 7, tray 6, top pair for Demidov. Eastgate picks up bottom pair. Demidov checks.
Eastgate, 22 years old, trying to become the youngest main event champion ever.
Playing in his first U.S. tournament, bets 850,000.
Demidov told us he wanted to stay away from Eastgate. He can't read him well.
Demidov just calls. Turn card now is a king. King's up now for Demidov.
Demidov now a 19-1 favorite.
And they both check it to the river. River card. Oh, it's another tray. Trip trays for Eastgate gives him the check mark.
Eastgate got a free look at the river, and it should pay off.
Demidov, first to act with kings up. He bets about half the pot.
Demidov thinks the water is safe, but all of a sudden it's pretty shark infested.
Eastgate now thinking about what kind of bet he can put out that will get a call. $5.5 million?
Eastgate doesn't talk much, but his chips never shut up. Demidov now trying to get a read on the 22-year-old. And at this stage of the championship, every bet, every decision so magnified.
Eastgate and Demidov have played a lot together at this main event, but Eastgate is one tricky character. Demidov at a critical moment against a strong opponent.
Okay, fault.
And he lays down kings up.
Great fold from the 27-year-old Russian.
So Peter Eastgate picks up a couple of million new chips and inches a bit closer to Demidov. But right now, the chip leader is indeed playing like a champion at this main event.
I hope you weren't bluffing this time, because I'm gonna look dumb folding this hand.
No, Ivan, you look pretty darn smart.
All right, let's take a look at our E-Trade financial chip count. Iván Demidov and Peter Eastgate are fighting it out for the top spot. Elon Schwartz and Dennis Phillips are in a tight race as well. Anyone's title to win here at the Rio. Action back at the table now on Elon Schwartz with Trey Deuce into the muck.
It's as if he's crawled into a hole and is waiting for Groundhog's Day.
Demidov now. Ace-4 offsuit.
Any ace in four-handed play is pretty good.
Especially in the hands of an aggressive player like Demidov. He does raise to just a bit more than 1.5 million chips. Peter Eastgate now. 10-6. He won't play that. Dennis Phillips with ace-8. Phillips started the day as the chip leader. His chip stack's been on a yo-yo. He was down to 8 million, back to 26, now at 20 million.
Raise.
He announces a raise with ace-8. Makes it 3.6 million chips total.
Phillips is 53. He would be the third oldest player to win the main event behind Johnny Moss and Noel Furlong.
With a re-raise back to Demidov.
So that's like 20 total, right?
Total is just under 20 million. 19.7, something like that.
Yeah, I'm all in.
A push from Demidov, which would put Dennis Phillips all in.
And it frustrates Phillips. Demidov did this to Phillips earlier in the day. He had the bigger stack, the weaker ace, and he forced Phillips out by putting him in for all his chips. If Phillips can make the tough call this time, he would have Demidov dominated and could put himself in terrific chip position.
The beauty of no limit. Demidov playing the player, not necessarily his cards. Does Phillips want to put himself at risk right here? No, he will fold to Demidov's pressure.
The power of the big stack takes down Dennis Phillips again.
Well, Phillips did fold the better hand pre-flop, but he played better safe than sorry poker. This is the moment.
My name is Peter Eastgate.
My name is Iván Demidov.
Just two players remain.
I will be the world champion of poker.
I will be the World Series of Poker champion.
This is their moment. And it all goes down right here, back inside the Rio's Penn and Teller Theater. Two young men, Peter Eastgate, 22 years old, and 27-year-old Iván Demidov, about to go heads up for $9 million, the coveted bracelet and the title of world champion. And who better to kick things off than legendary ring announcer Michael Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing first in seat 3, weighing out of Moscow, from Russia with love, Iván Demidov.
Demidov trying to become the first Russian to win the main event.
And his opponent in seat 7, he's the poker playing pride of Odense, Denmark, Peter Eastgate.
Eastgate trying to become the youngest ever to win the main event.
the shuffle. Up and deal.
I thought I was fired up, but now I'm really fired up. Plus, I feel like punching Alon.
This is quite a moment. You see Daniel Negreanu with Eric Lindgren, Chris Moneymaker with sixth-place finisher Daru Suharto, and, of course, Dennis Phillips, who finished in third place. We are ready to go. The cards are in the air. We're about to crown a world champion. On the Milwaukee's Best Light Pocket Cam, Yvonne looks down at ace-9.
Both of them have had the chip lead at this final table. Eastgate right now with the advantage on Demidov.
And for the first time in World Series history, they have a 1 million chip big blind. That could create huge swings. Demidov raised it to 2 million. Eastgate with 7-4 of diamonds makes the call.
Demidov said he wanted to stay away from Eastgate. He can't stay away from him any longer.
Flop is 10 king 7. Eastgate with a pair of sevens and a flush draw. Demidov missed that flop. Eastgate checks. Demidov checks back.
Neither takes a stab.
Turn card, Jack of diamonds. Eastgate gets the check mark, turning a flush. Demidov picks up a useless double gut shot straight draw.
Eastgate told us a top 3 finish would be amazing. Top 2 would be unbelievable. He didn't describe what winning $9 million in the world title at the age of 22 would feel like.
He does bet $2.5 million with his made flush. Demidov now. Just a double gutter.
8.
He's going to make it $8 million to play.
Demidov raises drawing dead. He has been the hottest player on the planet, but if anyone can cool him off, it would be Icegate.
As we've seen, these are two excellent players who are very willing to put their chips to work. Anytime a big bet is made, the room is buzzing.
You know, if Teller ever retires, it could be Penn and Eastgate.
Eastgate just with a call. River card now. Eastgate has the check mark with the flush. Tray of spades, that misses Demidov, and that may save him a lot of chips. Eastgate first to act, and now he checks.
Eastgate is one cool customer. He'll see if Demidov wants to fire at it again.
12 million.
Cold.
An insta call from Eastgate, and he will take this huge pot from Demidov with that diamond flush. And that opens up a big gap between these two players as Eastgate steps closer to poker history. Iván Demidov with a lot of ground to make up. His girlfriend with head and hands.
The Danes still singing, though they've lost a bit of zip.
Eastgate can't resist a smile due to the singing, and also because he's got a huge chip lead right now. The main event bracelet is within his grasp. Here's how they stand at the moment. Peter Eastgate over 120 million. Iván Demidov with about 16.5 million.
Eastgate says he's very lazy and not very productive, so we have that in common.
Demidov said should he win, he might ignite a Russian moneymaker effect.
Oh, it would be a ruble maker effect, Lon.
Good point. Eastgate looks at ace-5 off suit. He limps in for $500,000.
Well, one way or the other, we are going to have our third foreign-born main event champion in 4 years.
With 4 deuce of hearts, Demidov checks the big blind. The flop is deuce king tray. Demidov with a pair of deuces. Eastgate picked up a wheel draw. Demidov first to act. He checks.
Eastgate says he's studied ESPN tapes on his opponents. It is amazing how much you can learn just listening to me talk.
Eastgate with ace high in his draw bets $1.25 million. Demidov with a small pair.
Any pair and heads up on the flop, chances are you're ahead, and Demidov is ahead.
He makes the call. Turn card now is a 4, and what a card for Eastgate, hitting his straight, and that's a disaster for Demidov because he caught 2 pair.
Yeah, that might be the prettiest card Peter Eastgate ever will see, and it is an ugly 2 pair for Iván Demidov. That turn card could be a $9 million card for Eastgate.
Demidov checked his 4s and deuces. Eastgate with the made wheel bets $2 million.
Eastgate is inching toward Phil Hellmuth and history.
6.
And Demidov will raise to $6 million.
Demidov now has committed half of his chips into this pot.
And a wave of nervous energy courses through this theater. Eastgate just flat calls.
Yeah, the smooth call from the 22-year-old on the brink of becoming the youngest main event champion ever. Demidov is committed here. He'll have to get lucky and hit his full house on the river.
And here is the river card. It is a 7. Eastgate earns the check mark with that straight. Demidov left with just 2 pair.
And Eastgate's got to figure his wheel is good.
Demidov first to act.
I'm all in.
I call.
All in and an insta-call. And this is the moment. 22-year-old Peter Eastgate steps into poker history. Peter Eastgate is our 2008 main event champion.
From unknown to unreal again at the World Series. Peter Eastgate, 22 years old, the youngest main event champion ever.
Ivan Demidov, what a player this guy turned out to be this year. Second place wins $5.8 million.
$9 million to Peter Eastgate, and now 7 straight main event champions plucked from obscurity.
Eastgate soaks in the moment, the culmination of many amazing moments from this main event.
This is it. This is it. The madness has returned.
Shut up and deal.
Arms are hot and sweaty. Hope my heart is ready. Here goes. Nothing fast.
Touchdown, Georgia, baby.
Check the rearview mirror.
Phil will take his lead.
I can't. No timing to let it. Oh, God! Driving myself crazy. I'm losing control.
Yes!
Looks like I'm headed down a rough and rocky road.
The line is gone.
That's what I'm talking about, baby. Yeah!
Each turn I take.
Oh, yeah!
Check this fluff out.
Phil Hellmuth has arrived.
I'm sorry, is he going to be in the Colonel Klink outfit all day?
Got him. I got him.
A royal flush. Quad aces.
I just wish I could get this smile off my face.
I know.
Wow.
How do you fold that hand?
You're so good.
I know. That's why I'm here right now.
Buddy, you're an idiot.
I'm an idiot with a set.
With every card comes a change of fate.
Is it meant to be? Oh! Yes! Wow! I love this game.
To you, it's poker, man. To me, this is my life.
And the 2008 World Series ended with an extraordinary final table.
They don't even do that in other sports, man.
The action surpassed all expectations.
Love this game.
And in the end, it was a 22-year-old phenom who made history.
Peter Eastgate, congratulations. You are the 2008 World Champion of Poker, and this bracelet is yours.
So another amazing season comes to a close. For Norman, Chad, I'm Lon McCarran. So long from the World Series of Poker.